Hi. I know I said that I was going to do lots of Facebook Lives on the various subjects that people had said that they wanted help on. And second to top in the list was how to build coaching packages. So here I am. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, first of all, why I think packages are so useful. Whether you're a coach or you're a healer or you're a therapist, if you're a traditional therapist, like a psychotherapist, it might be slightly different. But certainly if you've done any kind of, I suppose, alternative therapy, healing type work, coaching, stuff like that, packages are really, really useful for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's really difficult to sell by the hour, especially for something like coaching and healing, because people don't quite have a grasp of what they entail and what the outcome will be. Therapy is slightly different because it's much more of a question for a lot of people of, I have this issue, I'm in pain, I will want a solution to it, I know that this will give me the solution. There's much more of a presence and a knowledge within the culture of what therapy can do for people. That's not the same for coaching. A lot of people have an idea of what it can do, but they're not as, I suppose, as familiar with it. So it can be really difficult to sell. It certainly takes a lot of energy to sell by the hour. The other thing is that we know as coaches and healers that change isn't instant, and that quite often it will not exactly get worse before it gets better, but there's definitely a hump that people go through. People maybe start off really engaged and really enthusiastic, and then as we start to help them implement change, then there tends to be a bit of a pingback or a backlash. But we know that the real kind of change and lasting solution comes after that point. That's a fairly typical process that people go through when dealing with any kind of change. And because we're in the process of helping people to change, there is a danger that if we're letting people kind of hire us by the hour, as soon as they hit that point of the hump where it starts to get difficult, they bail on the process and they bail on themselves. And so that's not good in terms of them getting the outcome that they need. So it's beneficial to both the practitioner and the client to have a package, a discrete period of time. It's a set kind of period of time, a set piece of work that you're doing, because it's easier to be able to describe the outcome somebody is likely to get through working with you, rather than you hire me for an hour. Well, what will I get from that hour? Well, it really depends. It's difficult to say. Different people will get different things out, and let's just see how it goes. You need to experience it, and I will ask some penetrating questions. And no, you have all the answers. I won't tell you all the answers. And we get into that whole kind of discussing the process when really we need to be discussing the outcome. And the client gets better results. There is something immensely powerful about signing up to a chunk of time, taking it seriously enough, committing to themselves enough to be in it for the change, not just dip their toe in the water. There has to be a certain level of commitment. Most of us, I would hope all of us, have that experience of being coached. It's not always comfy, cozy, really nice. It's not meant to be. It's immensely powerful, but there are times when it's not always going to be the greatest. And so there is something about somebody has that commitment there from the beginning. They're going to get a lot more out of it. So that's the two reasons that I think packages are the way to go for the majority of business. There are a few exceptions. Like I say, therapists, it's slightly different. And the other thing is, financially, for you to be sustainable, and that's something I talk a lot about, to be sustainable in your business, you need to be able to have some kind of consistency of income. And if you have people on packages, whether they be 3-month or 6-month or even 12-month packages, then you know you have a consistency of income coming in. If you are selling by the hour, you are in constant hustle mode. You're in constant client churn. You never know if that client is going to be continuing with you, and that gets exhausting because it means you're constantly in that kind of will they, won't they, will they sign on, will they not mode. So let's talk a little bit then about how to actually go about putting together some packages. And as with a lot of these things that I talk about, there are some fundamentals that will really help you to have in place first. And the biggest thing that helps with every other bit of your business, whether it be marketing, whether it be packages, whether it be pricing, whether it be sales, is having a really clear message. Now, whether this is a niche or whether this is more of a kind of overarching, this is what I'm all about. And I can discuss that on another Facebook Live because they're not necessarily the same thing. You need to have that clear message at the beginning, because that sets out your stall about what you're about and what is the type of work that you do and the type of transformation that you help facilitate. Once you've got that, and assuming you have done some client work, because all of this gets a lot easier if you've actually done some client work. And I don't care if that's free, really low cost, you did it in training, whatever. You need to have had some experience of working with clients. But once you've been working with clients for a little while, you will find that there are certain themes that keep coming up, or a certain type of challenge that you really love helping people with. So, for example, I love helping people with their messaging. I love it. I get so alive. I get so energized. I love helping people write, their messages and copy and things like that. And that's something that I didn't know until I started doing this kind of work. So I know that messaging for me is quite a discrete part of one of the things that coaches and healers need in that kind of whole arc of things that they need. So once you start working with people after a while, first of all, you'll get much more of an idea of what's the type of arc that I tend to work with. So maybe you're a career coach and you love helping people to go from careers where they are technically very good, but they're just not getting that kind of soul, I love this type work. And so you take them, people who are already skilled, and maybe find a better fit culture for them or a slightly better fit role. And so that roughly that's the arc of the type of work that you do generally. Now you see how this is really difficult if you're at the stage where I'm working with anyone on anything, because it's really difficult to say, well, what's the arc? If you're still at the stage of I help people with transition, then it's going to be a lot fuzzier. I'm going to help people move from one place to another, is basically what you're working with. So the more you can hone that down, the better. And then your packages fall out of that. So think of either what are the kind of the discrete sections of this arc. There's the arc itself. So if it's possible to take them from, A to Z with it, then that can potentially become your longer package. And then your shorter packages can be the kind of the chunks, the discrete sections. So let's take our example of the career coach. Maybe the big package is I will take you from a job you're good at but you can't stand to one that makes you leap out of bed every day. And maybe it goes over the course of 6 months, because perhaps when you'll spend some time with them helping to identify what is it that really lights them up. Then as part of that package, you also will spend some time exploring where are the good matches in terms of culture, in terms of organization, where's going to be a good fit with your existing skill set, where maybe the other things that you may need to do some additional training and stuff on. Then you'll help them through that kind of job search process. And then maybe you'll help them with getting embedded into that role. So that becomes your package, your long-term package. And so rather than saying what many of us do when we're first starting out is, my longer package is 12 sessions over 6 months or whatever it might be. You can say, my longer package is I will take you from the job that you're good at but you hate, that doesn't fill you with joy, to where you want to jump out of bed in the morning, and I will help you, and we will focus on this and this and then this and then this. So that makes it really clear to people, this is what I get out of, this is what I get when I pay this person my money. This is what we'll be focusing on. And it gets you away from having to make any guarantees, to take ownership of the resolution, because what you're saying is these are the areas that we will focus on. And that becomes your package. Does that make sense? But feel free to type questions if this isn't quite making sense. So let's say you want to have a shorter package. You're the career coach, you want to have a shorter package, and you then think, okay, so what are the other areas? What are the other kind of stages? Someone doesn't want the whole kit and caboodle if they're not quite ready for that yet. What might also be going on? Well, how about for the people who they know they're not happy where they are, but they're not sure if they want to move? So how about you have a discrete package that's a shorter, smaller package that's actually around helping somebody come to that realization, decide, is it time to stay or is it time to go? And then maybe you have a medium-term package, which is about, getting ready to leap type thing. Or maybe you really, you love working with people who are technically very good at what they do and are maybe already in process of exiting and getting somewhere else. Or maybe one of your packages wants to be, you're embedded into a new role. I generally recommend that you try and stick to no more than 3 packages, because otherwise it can get really confusing for people. But it's a way of, first of all, knowing what is your arc. So the bit before is you have to really know, who are my people? What do I love helping them with? So whether that be a niche or whether that be, this is my message. This is what I'm about. This is who these are the people I work with. Oh, can't speak for a Saturday. Then it's, what is the overarching arc of where I take them from, where I generally love helping people? What's the journey that I really like helping people to go on? And then, are there any chunks either in the journey or the before or the after? The other way that you can do packages really quickly is you may have people who are wanting to take the same journey, but they're at different starting points. So maybe you've got some, I don't know, maybe you're a career coach, but you want to help people find roles that really light them up and not only match their skill set and their passions, but you want to help, that there are people at different stages of their careers. So maybe you want to help graduates who are technically very good, maybe they're very academically bright, and it's how do they get that first role that's not only going to match their skill set, but is going to match their values. And then maybe you have another package, similar type of process, that is about how somebody who has maybe been in their career a little while, how do they choose the next step for them in their career that helps them match their skill set and their passions? And then maybe it's somebody who's been there, a long time and wants to really make the most of where they're at and the kind of the experience they've built up in their career. So you can also do it with people who are at different stages. So I hope that makes sense. You really, the very first thing is think, who are the people I want to work with? Who are the people I love working with? And what types of things do I love working with them on? And this is a process that evolves. You can't just do this in your head. You need to be getting out there and coaching people. And so if you're not doing that already, go out and practice on people. Go out and, check out, I've got a free training that talks you through how to do this called Coaching Mojo. If you go to joecasey.com Mojo, it talks you through all of that. Just how to go out and do loads of free sessions with a view of doing research and finding out, what do people want? What am I really good at helping people with? And, if you want some more hands-on help, like I say, this is the type I love. I love helping people with, because I just love getting inside people's businesses and pulling out your passions and who are the people that you want to work with and stuff. So check out my programs, check out Supernova Collective, check out my one-on-one packages. I have a one-on-one package called Partner in Crime. Check out those if you want some additional help. That very first thing is think about, who are my people? What do I love to help them with? And then what is the journey? What is the arc that I take them on? I hope that helps. I will speak to you soon. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.